How do you remove dog poo from a trail? Using a Turtwig. Bike Chain Starters, Episode 12, Turtwig. What's going on? I'm Pokewelder Zach, and today we're making Turtwig out of bike chains. Before we get started, when this video hits 1,000 likes, I'll be doing a giveaway to one person from the comment section below. So, what'd you think about the intro joke? Do you have a better one, or do you just like Turtwig? In order to win, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. It helps the channel out a lot and helps keep this content coming out. So, with all that, let's get on to the build.
Alright, let's get this kicked off with a bang. Alright, for Turtwig's head, we're going to be using 3 6-link chains for the middle part of the head with 2 3-links on either side. As you can see below, we're going to be using 2 flat links and a double. That will be used for his dirt stem crown. And then the body will have a 8 and a 4 for the main body, and the shell will be 8, 6, and 4, with the legs each being individual links. So we're actually going to start out with the body here. I typically start out with the head, but for Turtwig, it was just easier to start here. I was doing a little bit of prototyping as well while doing this video. This is the second version of Turtwig that I did. The first one was just a little bit big. So as you can see here, we have the 4, 6, and 8 set up above, and then I'm setting up the 4 and 8 below for the body. We're going to quickly tack them all before stacking them, and then we're going to clean them up as well. So on that bottom part, you can kind of see where I bent it so that the 8, instead of it being larger like the top part of the shell, is a little bit smaller and then has a protrusion which is going to be used for the tail. So now that these are all cleaned up, we're gonna stack them and tack them. So we put the 6-link on top of the 8, quickly tack each side and the end, and then we're gonna put the 4 on top of the 6, and then that will make up Turtwig's shell. This will possibly change into future designs, seeing that Turtwig does kind of have a smaller shell, so this might drop down to a 6 and a 4 instead of the 8. Down below for the body, same thing, we add the 4 on top of the 8, and then finish it up. So the single flat links here are going to be used for the liner on Turtwig's shell. It sort of has a black band that goes on top of the shell and around it. So once those are welded on, we will now attach the main body to the shell. Going to clean it up and put it off to the side so we can work on Turtwig's head. His head is also pretty different than what I usually do. So we can see here that I'm using a 6-link that's kind of widened out and a 4-link, and this will make up the bottom part of the jaw, which will be horizontal. The top part of the head, which I'm making here, is actually going to be vertical. Typically in my designs, I have the head all being either horizontal or vertical. I think this might be the only one that has a combination of the two. So we're going to quickly tack those, and right here I do only have 2. Like I said, I was prototyping, and so initially I was going to do 2 of these with 4 links on the side, and then changing it to having 3 in the middle with 3 links on the side. So you can see here where I'm trying out the 4 links on the side, just trying to see how it works out, and nothing really stuck super well for me. They looked okay, but didn't really speak to me. So that's where I create this 3rd piece here to add on to the middle portion. It's a pretty quick job, just again doing the same design as the other ones, lining it up and then tacking it onto the main part, and then I will be attaching that onto the jaw. So you can see here now where the horizontal jaw and the vertical top of the head are going to be welded together, and then I'll add on the 3 links on either side. Before that though, this is the single link that'll make up Turtwig's cute little overbite nose. And here's the 3 links going on either side. Once the head is done, I'm going to be adding some of the flat links on top. This will make up the, I guess, crown, stem, soil, whatever you want to call it, on top of Turtwig's head. I tack in between each of the sections too, and then grind it down just so it looks like a single smooth piece. Once that's done, I add on the double link here with the closed side down on the head and the open side, which will be used for leaves at the end. Once that is all tacked on there, I take some pliers and bend the open side out to make the 2 leaves on top of the stem.
Let's take a moment to talk about Patreon. If you like this content and you want to help support the channel, the best way to do so is over on Patreon in the description below. Over there, I post additional updates, announcements, bonus content, I host contests, I do a Pokemon poll of the month, all sorts of things. So I've got multiple tiers for just about anybody. So again, if you like the channel, if you want to help support it, go ahead and check it out in the description below. Every little bit helps. So with that, thank you to my current patrons, thank you to my future patrons, and let's get back to the video.
Now it's time to add the head onto the body. So you see we have both those 2 parts fairly cleaned up there, and then we just attach the head on either side and attach the 4 single links for the legs. And final step here is to clean up. We're using a angle grinder with a ceramic flap disc. This is just to help sort of smooth down any of the rougher welds, get rid of slag, sharp edges, and just give it an overall sort of cleaner appearance. And then going through with the Dremel tool and a grinding bit to, again, just clean up any sharp edges, pretty much get anywhere that the angle grinder could not get to. So a lot of those spots like between the legs, under the head, just, the angle grinder can only go so far. So that is our raw chain Turtwig, but he needs some paint. So let's give him that green paint base, just using a paint primer mix, and then doing all the finer details by hand painting. So here you can see that the shell is a dark brown. I ended up changing this because I just initially thought that Turtwig had a much darker shell, and after going back and doing some of the redesign and looking at pictures, I realized that he has a much lighter shell, so that gets reflected later on a second coat here. I think in a third design I might try to find somewhere in the middle of them. This is a little too dark. The future one might be a little too light, but just let me know what you think down in the comments below. Whether it needs to be lighter or just a different shade. So once we get the brown part on, we are going to paint the leaves on the top of the stem. Just a nice bright green, that nice leafy green, and give us a nice contrast to the rest. And we're going to paint the shell. This is the black liner. And this is where I really realized that the shell was way too dark, and had to go back and check some images to make sure that the shell was lighter. So, yep, getting the sort of between all of the different chain links here and getting that black liner, and then going back and now doing the final details with yellow. Making sure to get all those little feet nubs, get them nice and bright, all yellowed up, don't want to miss any spots. And then following those up with the bottom of the jaw here. This is, again, some of the tricky parts are making sure to get in between all the different chain links, just so that when you take a look at it, you don't see little random bits of green here and there. And again, these need typically at least 1 or 2 coats, depending on the paint. So here you can see I go back and add a much lighter brown. And again, I think that this is probably the happy medium is somewhere in the middle. I wasn't super happy with how this looked wet, but when it dried, I think it turned out to be a lot more resemblant of how Turtwig actually looks. And so I think it was definitely a good change. So there we have it, our raw chains all the way up to a painted final Turtwig. Love to hear your thoughts on it.
Thanks for sticking around to the end. I hope you learned a thing or two and enjoyed the video. Remember, when the video hits 1,000 likes, I'll be doing a giveaway to one person from the comment section below, so make sure you like, subscribe, and comment below. Tell me what you liked about the video, what you'd like to see more of, what you'd like to see less of, or what Pokemon you'd like to see in the future. Also, if you want to vote on Pokemon in the future, you can do so over on my Patreon, where I host a monthly poll for a Pokemon sculpture. So, with all that, next week we're going to be kicking off Unova with Tepig. Until then, signing off with a Totodile smile.